I feel like sometimes people, when they see like an international chef being like non-Malaysian, maybe Caucasian chefs who are cooking a version of like Malaysian food, the moment they just put Malaysian, the whole Malaysia will go like, this chef is cooking Malaysian food, like, let's celebrate. But then, the local chefs are not getting the same love and support. You guys are very critical of the local chefs. I think a lot of people think they know what our traditional food are. Their idea, in my opinion, the idea of a traditional food is what they have at home or in their kampong. So people need to change their perception of what traditional food is. Because right now, like I said, people think that they know what it is. Okay, I have a very interesting story that, to be honest, it was driving me a little crazy for a bit.
Why, hello there, food lovers, and welcome to The Hungry Immigrant, the place where flavors cross borders and cultures unite. I'm your host, Abang Brian, coming to you with stories, secrets, and the irresistible charm of Asian cuisine and heritage. Each week, we'll journey into the heart of what makes food more than just a meal. We'll talk to chefs, celebrities, home cooks, and food enthusiasts who have brought their heritage to our tables. From the bustling streets of Kuala Lumpur to the vibrant markets of Manila and Seoul to the Chinatowns of New York, Paris, and Toronto, we're exploring the magic of food that connects us all. So join us as we delve into the rich tapestry of Asian food culture and heritage, celebrating the traditions and innovations that make our culinary world so diverse and exciting. Now, get ready as today's episode promises to be a flavorful journey. Alright, so we're back on another episode of The Hungry Immigrant, which I can't remember. This is my camera. It's my camera. So yeah, I was just telling this person who we have today that this is really a casual conversation. It's just, us trying to preserve everybody's story. And the guest that we have today is someone who became a celebrity chef before I was even a chef. She is actually the same age as me, I found out.
Really?
And she's a trailblazer in the industry because I think when you look at the celebrity chefs in Malaysia, she stands out because she is who she is. She does not conform to any mold. And I think the first time we met, she was a guest judge on MasterChef. She was cooking masak lemak cili api or something. I think masak lemak cili api. Was it masak lemak cili api? And so that's where I think I met her for the first time. I don't think we had worked together before.
No, I don't think we had. No. This is the first time.
This is the first time. And I'm not even paying her. So thank you very much for agreeing to do it. And she is a sister to a singer. She's always been in the public's eye. She's one of the prettiest celebrity chefs in Malaysia, I know.
Stop it.
We have Chef Anis Nabilah with us. And she's a model chef because she went to school.
I did.
Was it FIM? Or is it
Yeah.
Food Institute of Malaysia?
Still Malaysia.
So you have Chef Anis Nabilah.
Thank you so much for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm flourished.
It's funny, but your jacket
I
you're
can
wearing
see
is so beautiful.
Oh my goodness, we did not plan this. But we're going
It's like flower theme going
I
on.
love it.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for the very nice introduction.
The people I invite are people who mean something to me.
Thank you.
Like for people who don't know you, how would you
Describe myself.
describe yourself? How did you grow up?
Okay. Well, my name is Anis Nabilah. I am. I would say that I'm a chef and a TV host. Something about the word celebrity chef it doesn't really sit well with me. I don't know what. I think somehow I got somewhat of like an imposter syndrome, and I feel like saying it out loud just feels so weird and uncomfortable. Like I will never say like I'm a celebrity chef. It's something that I've never said. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think.
Do you think so? I totally agree with this. It's a Malaysian thing, I think.
Is it? I'm not sure if it's a Malaysian thing, but I've always felt like and I needed to sort of get approval or acceptance from like both sides, like the media side, the entertainment side, yeah, but also the chef side.
Right.
Like, because, I started working like professionally. I was working in kitchen before I started doing TV. And TV just kind of happened unintentionally. I was working in a hotel for about a year or so. And then my ex-lecturer called me and said, TV3 is looking for, which is a local TV channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're looking for a TV host, and they won. Yes, second. This is my first ever show. That was back in 2007, and so when they said that, I was like, I don't know. Can I really do it? Because I've not had training on camera. I don't know how to host a TV show, and at that point of time, when you're on TV, if you're doing like a local or Malay show, you have to speak like proper Malay. Not like right now. Right now, you can use slang words and it's very casual. You can add some English words. Like back then, it was just like full on Malay. And it's not that I couldn't speak Malay. I spoke Malay at home, but I grew up with my late grandparents and my parents, of course, but our grandparents lived with us. And they spoke Penang Malay, which they have like this northern Malaysian accent from Penang specifically, because even in the north, like, in Perak, the accent's different, right? So I had quite a thick Penang accent when I speak Malay. So it's like Rojak, which Rojak is basically like a mix of everything. Of everything. It's a food, by the way. Yeah. So when I did the audition, they were like, you have to speak in Malay. And because, when I'm introducing myself, I'm speaking in English, and they're like, you have to speak in Malay. I'm like, yeah, I can do it. And obviously, I said a few lines in Malay, and then I started saying things in English, and they're like, Malay. And then I got so like, in my head. Yeah. And I started just saying it, like doing everything with the Penang accent, like started speaking with the Penang accent. So that was my audition. So I thought I didn't get it because, I felt like it was weird. But then I got it. I knew how to cook. I knew how to teach people how to cook. And at that point of time, I kind of told myself, like, why do I want to do this? So before I studied culinary, I wanted to do other things. I wanted to take up journalism. I wanted to read law. Like I love history. I enjoyed reading. But then my mom read law. And at that point in time, she was a HR executive for a company in Malaysia. And then she said to me, do you know how many people I know who don't really enjoy their job, don't like their job? It's just something that they have to do. So if you are in a position where you can choose doing what you love, why won't you do it? Which is very unconventional at that point in time. Like,
Even today, I think.
I know some parents now, they kind of allow their children to explore their passion, Like back then, it wasn't really something that, parents would want you to have jobs that can ensure security, I would say. I think, but you can't really blame them. It's because of, like our parents are the boomer generation, and, they are the generation that their parents were the ones who survived the war.
Yeah, I was just going to.
And, they had to, so they had to like build the country and all of that. So they have that kind of mentality. But my mom, being in HR and seeing a lot of people who weren't necessarily enjoying their job, she kind of said to me, like, do what you love. And I was just like, so you want me to like be tukang masak, which is cook basically, because in Malaysia, that's what you call them, It, like being a chef wasn't like, people didn't think that you can make a career out of it.
Yeah.
So even when I said I wanted to study culinary, like a lot of people just looked at me and said, and then what? And then what? You're just gonna grow old and become.
Also, to be fair, to speak of it in a Malaysian context, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there is still this perception in the industry of the industry where, number one, celebrity chef, you were talking about it. I think the word celebrity chef is given such a bad perception or like a negative kind of connotation because number one, some people, to me, what I understand is there are two school of thoughts, one of which is, first of all, celebrity chefs are just K-chefs. They're just actors who can cook, number one.
Yeah.
Then there's another one where I think culturally also the word celebrity is something that is like, I think because of who we are as Asians, we are brought up to be very like, not to boast.
Yeah, humble.
Humble, that's the word, right? And, just put your head down and do the work, right? So celebrity has connotation of being like flashy and just think too much about yourself. And then on the other hand, cook. Right? The word cook and chef.
Yeah.
Right? I think Malaysian.
I mean, it was known. I mean, of course, it's the hierarchy in the kitchen, right? So you are told, like, you have to be a commis for how many years, and then chef de partie, and then this, that. So it's like you got to earn that title, chef. You have to be in the industry for a certain time before you get to call yourself chef. But obviously, in the media industry, they don't know that. They don't think that. They're just like, oh, you're on TV, you have the qualification, therefore you're a chef. I was labeled a celebrity chef at a very young age. I was 21. And of course, I've also had people that I've known in the culinary industry, in the restaurant industry and stuff, who sort of like, kind of like, why are you calling yourself a chef? That kind of thing. Are you a chef? Do you have the qualification to even teach people? Like, I have the knowledge, but do you have the years? Do you have the skills and everything? And I think that kind of bothered me from the very beginning. So that kind of shaped me on how I introduce myself. Now it's not so much, not that I'm doing anything for people, like, oh, I'm like, I'm being this way because of what people think of me. It's just that I also don't want people to talk like unnecessarily. I don't want any of that. I just want to avoid any negative thing.
Well, girl, the truth is, like, you've been in the industry for 17 years, right? I've been in the industry for 11 years, maybe.
I think it's
the truth is, they'll talk.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what you take care of,
yeah,
people be talking. So, for you, what is a chef? What is the definition of a chef to you?
I wouldn't say that I'm super traditional about it. That you gotta be like, you have to have like a culinary degree, diploma, whatever, and work in the industry for whatever time to be a chef. I don't think it's that, because even now you can see that a lot of the successful chefs around the world are self-taught. It's more about the passion that you put in, the skills, knowledge, passion. These are the three key things I feel like you need to have to call yourself a chef or to be a chef, you know what I mean? Not necessarily you need to have a degree in culinary arts or whatsoever to be a chef, but you do need the knowledge.
Yeah.
You do need the knowledge, because how are you going to lead a kitchen? Say if you're not on screen, you're not a cookbook writer, you're a chef in the kitchen. How are you going to lead the kitchen if you don't have the knowledge? And then skills, of course. How are you going to be a chef if you don't have skills? And skills goes back to basic, like I remember even when I was studying, not everyone had this skill. Not everyone could fillet a fish. Not everyone who's teaching people how to cook online now can fillet a fish. That's a fact, and you need that. You need that skill to be a chef, and you need to have passion, because if not, what is the difference between a cook and a chef? If you're just doing the act of cooking, right? But even then, I would never limit it to oh, no, you cannot call yourself a chef. You're a cook. I would never do that, because who am I to do that, So I think from the very beginning of my career up till now, I do not call myself a celebrity chef because I do not want to cause discomfort towards other people. So I am like, I say like, yeah, okay, I'm a TV host because that's what I do. Sometimes I don't even host like cooking shows. Sometimes I don't even cook, I'm just the TV host. And I'm also like a chef, like it's a separate thing, But call me whatever you want. I have no issues with that. I don't go like, Abang Brian, do not call me a celebrity chef. I won't be like that.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinions and the way they express it. But the one thing that I would say is because, like, for example, I identify as a teacher host before anything,
Yeah.
a teacher, right?
Educator.
Right? But the fact that you call yourself a celebrity chef, and I think I need to voice this because I feel that people should stop like relating this celebrity chef thing to a negative thing because it's not easy. Cooking is one thing. Y'all can be like exec chefs and whatever not, which I respect for all my life. People go up in the kitchen, I can't do that. I've tried. I will be a very sad person. Like it's not my thing.
I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, I mean, different, right? I would say that I respect all these chefs with all my heart. Changing Michelin stars and all is something that is very respectable to me. It's not easy, but it's not my thing. I feel everybody has their own calling, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so,
absolutely.
What I would say to all these chefs sometimes who belittle or who laugh at celebrity chefs or who contribute to this connotation of celebrity chefs being something negative is that cooking and talking at the same time and
It's
also
very easy.
having that charisma, having that presented, no, it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy. For example, you, right? Everyone's eye on you all the time. It's something that is, how do you deal with that?
I don't know. I don't know if I ever dealt with it. I don't know if because I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't really I don't put much thought into it. Like I think back then I used to prior to COVID because I'm a lot more out there. Yeah, I go to a lot of events. I do a lot of TV shows or a lot of live shows, and of course, in the spotlight and people, say sometimes the way I look, the way everything is it's just everything. People tend to nitpick. The more you're out there, the more they tend to nitpick, and I just don't really pay much attention. I remember at one point in time, I think I felt like I was being a little bit rebellious, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna milk it, let them talk.
Yeah.
And I kind of challenge a bit more. Like the more I do it, the more people talk, and I'm just like, how long is this gonna go on for? Then I realized that that's not really I don't know. It just I think it went on for a couple of years, and then I realized that I'm uncomfortable. I don't like it. Like whether it's a good kind of attention or it's a bad one, I don't really enjoy it generally. And now even more, it's so weird because I'm doing what I'm doing, but at the same time, I just want the focus not to be on me. I want the focus to kind of be more on my work, on my recipes. Prior to COVID, I would do maybe 4 or 5 TV shows in a year, which would take up a lot of my time. So I never had the need to have this recipes thing online or have any sort of online presence. Maybe my online presence is more of this is where you can connect with me.
Right.
That kind of thing. This is just a platform where you can connect with me and see what I do outside of cooking, outside of TV shows. But when COVID happened, all of that changed, and I started having to do stuff from home, having to do content, and I remember struggling with it quite a bit. But then I realized, hey, this is quite fun. Also, the first year of COVID, it was more of let's just do everything so we don't go crazy, being in lockdown. So I was just experimenting on everything. It's crazy, I know you do the Tide Sahur thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I love it. I also did not 30 days, some support day. And I'm like, wow, people are actually watching it, like, at 5 a.m. in the morning. Or, that's crazy. So that kind of like gave me sort of like a boost. And I wanted to do more of it. So I just kept doing it. And then I realized that people started to nitpick on other things.
That's what I'm telling you.
People. So from like, oh, look at how she dressed, to like, she's not doing this right. This is not how it's supposed to be, and everything. And as a chef, this is something that, another thing that I think I don't do enough, or I don't do at all, is I don't talk so much about my experiences. I don't remind people. I feel like I'm not good at it. Like a lot of successful people, like how that people who don't know them knew them and knew of their success because they keep reminding people.
Right.
It's like, so, I've done this, I've done that, I'm, the founder of this, I'm the CEO of this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just somebody, I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? I don't know how to go like on TV or on screen, on camera, and say like, I've done this for 17 years and I've done, 60 over TV shows. I've, traveled the world. I've traveled the whole of Malaysia. I don't know how to do that because that feels so like, ugh, to me. But also because I think it's a complex thing being a woman also in this industry. Like people question, but I've been questioned a lot of things. Not only question, like people have given their opinions of me and of what I do, like in various stages of my career. From the very beginning, I was told that the people who called the shots for my show have said, it's very difficult to sell her because she's a woman.
Wow.
And most of the celebrity chefs in Malaysia are men. It's very difficult to sell her because she's not married. Therefore, all these women, these married women who are watching her feel like they can't connect with her. She doesn't have that maternal instinct. Like all the other chefs who are cooking on TV, they have the paternal instinct, so they're believable. It's hard to sell her because she's not Malay enough.
So this is actually very interesting that you brought up this function because I think this also tells a lot about our country and our community, right? There's one term in the Malay ethnic group which is called Perempuan Melayu Terakhir.
Whoops, did we just run out of time? So what's her food story like growing up? Did Anis also, like many celebrity chefs, grow up surrounded by food? Or wait, there's also a controversial char kway teow story coming up. Tune in next week at the same time to find out more. Until then, terima kasih and thank you for joining us on yet another episode of The Hungry Immigrant. It's been a delightful feast of stories and flavors that remind us just how much food brings us together. Now don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you'll never miss an episode. And if you loved today's culinary journey, leave us a review and share the episode with your friends and family. Your support helps keep our traditions alive and our tables more diverse. Do follow us on Instagram at Hungry Immigrant and my personal account Abang Brian for behind-the-scenes looks and extra tidbits from each episode. We love to see how food inspires you, so do tag us in your next food adventure. I'm Abang Brian, reminding you to savor every bite and cherish every moment at the table. Until next time, keep your plates adventurous and your hearts open.